We have right here in the city of Lagos, Nigeria's commercial center. Welcome everyone around the world. My name is Ashalolu Femi. This is Sports Africa, of course. This is where we discuss all things football, sports generally on the continent of Africa. It's a full house. Kado Gudare is back. James Agberebi is also here. Today is going to be another awesome time on the show. We thank you, our supporters, our fans across the world. Thank you for subscribing to Sport Africa. Thank you for watching our content. Thank you for sharing our videos. We really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Kado Gudare, you're welcome to the show. It's been a while. You went on a mid-season break. You're welcome back.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to be here.
James?
Yeah, thank you, Femi, and happy to be here on today's edition.
All right, okay. So let's get started. Of course, we get through our regular, programming, how we do it right here. We'll be talking about the continental roundup, and then the talking points. Then, of course, we have a star in diaspora today. We will be going to Egypt, and then the big game today. For this weekend, we will be going to Nigeria. So it's a trip to Nigeria. Okay, so let's get started. Of course, good news coming from Zambia about Rainford Kabbalah, who had an accident. Remember, we talked about it on Monday, and Calabar, I should say Calabar, Rainford Calabar. And thank God, the Zambia Football Federation released a statement during the week, and they said though it's the fifth day that has been in artificially induced coma, but he seems to be fighting. So it is some good news right there. So let's get started. Of course, in Ghana, something happened last week where a Nigerian boxer was blatantly denied a victory in an international boxing bout. We'll be talking about on the show today. And of course, the Olympics, we get our attention today. One international federation is kicking against the $50,000 prize money that has been promised to gold-winning athletes at the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. We'll be talking about, and Samuel Eto'o is fighting foes both at home and still at home. Of course, he's currently being investigated by CAF for breaching some ethical rules, and so much to talk about on the show. Let's get started. Kayode, of course, on Monday we talked about Rainford Calabar, the former TP Mazembe player, a former Zambia captain who had an accident, and initial reports were very sketchy. And even the Zambia Football Federation, according to the police in Zambia, it was like he was dead. Then even TP Mazembe released a statement, posting condolences to his families and friends, and eventually later heard that he was in induced coma in the hospital. And according to this statement, they said, according to the Zambia Football Federation, released this statement during the week, they said his condition remains stable and steady, improving as medical professionals at the hospital remains committed and dedicated to providing him with the required treatment for his continuous improvement. I think this is some good news.
Well, it is, even though he is still in a very, very critical condition, but it is still good news that he has a fighting chance, and everything is being done to make sure that he pulls through. Our thoughts and prayers are with him. Very decent player. I remember the run in 2012 to the title, and I remember his stint with the national team up till the qualifiers for the 2018 World Cup. He didn't make the final squad to Nigeria, because I was in their camp in Accra. If you remember, I wasn't one of them because the coach at that time dropped him, and I was a bit shocked that he was dropped, but nevertheless, he was still a very, very great player for the Chipolo. We pray that he pulls through finally without any lasting, debilitating side effects. Because, hey, at this time, the twilight of his career, he should be looking forward to a retirement filled with rest that he has suffered, he has labored. It is time to eat the fruit of his labor, like we say. So having this kind of terrible accident that could have claimed his life is something that is so shocking. We pray that he pulls through. We pray that God continues to be with him. We pray that the doctors are able to perform the miracle that we need. And we also pray that he makes a full and complete recovery.
Of course, we're adding our own prayers right here on Sport Africa. He is lucky to be alive because the lady who was driving the Mercedes-Benz that he was in died at the spot in the accident. James, let's talk about this very disturbing development coming from Ghana boxing. Last week, there was a Universal Boxing Organization African light heavyweight title fight between a Nigerian and a Ghanaian boxer. The Nigerian Rasheed Idowu, he floored the Ghanaian boxer Bastie Samir twice, and you'll be shocked that when it was time to actually pronounce the winner, the match was the bout was judged to be a draw. And then by the time people started asking questions, it was gathered that by Abraham, that is Abraham Kote Nikwaye, who is the president of a boxing authority in Ghana. He said the reason why they had to declare a draw was because Ghanaians who came out to watch the fight had threatened trouble, they threatened violence, and that was why they called it a draw. I'll quickly read his quote. He said there was a threat of violence outburst because the home boxer had lost, and because of which this bout was declared a technical draw. It was quoted as saying by Joy FM in Ghana. James, this is a complete embarrassment. Regardless, how would there even be a boxing bout of this magnitude without even security available? And the coach of the Nigerian guy is just saying that it is a big shame. That is all he could just say when he was asked about his views.
Yeah, calling it a shame and a disgrace, even an understatement, because I saw the video. So later I now heard it was a technical draw, and I've never heard such such a result in boxing. I don't know of technical knockout or unanimous decision. I don't know which one is technical draw again. So with me, they are not even, with me, they are not fit to host any major bout or any, that's just what they just portrayed. I mean, you know that it's either somebody win a draw fine in boxing. But this particular one, there was a clear knockout, which everybody saw. I saw the video. For the clear knockout, only for them to come out and say it's a technical draw. Now, the official is now telling us because there were threats of violence, and so I mean, if I mean, things just like what you said, which means they didn't even look at security. They don't feel they can host a bout of such magnitude and now deprive somebody of a big opportunity. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Maybe is it because of the rivalry between Nigeria, Ghana, and I don't understand because this was a clear knockout. So I don't know. It was a devastating one. So maybe because of they had to do with Nigeria, so they just couldn't stand
Okay.
the shame.
Well,
Kayode, I know. Sorry, Kayode, sorry.
another.
I know you are itching to say something about it. I want. There's a development to it.
Yes.
Apart from the credibility that we talk about in the way we do things right here on the continent, the Samir Bastie, he has talked about it, and he claimed that the Nigerian guy hit him at the back of his head. I'll quickly read the quote. He said, "I don't want to talk about the whole issue, about the whole mess." He said the whole mess has happened. All I want now is a rematch. If he's able to beat me in a rematch, then I will rate him as a champion. I will give him a rematch, and I'm putting my boxing career on the line. If he beats me in a rematch, I will retire from boxing. But this has nothing to do with what the whole world saw.
No. Well, anyway, there's an update to that development.
Okay.
Because number one, the statement that you read about insecurity at the venue was not actually correct, because even the Ghanaian fans were praising the Nigerian fighter, that you are the champion. If you watch the video, you hear their voices in the background, congratulating him that he was the champion. Anyway, all of that doesn't matter again, because according to Remy Aboderi, who is one of the boxing promoters,
the Secretary General of the Nigerian
Boxing
Federation,
he said about 2 days ago that I'm happy to inform all boxing lovers and aficionados worldwide that the Universal Boxing Organization, the title owners of the championship belts, competed before by Nigerian Rasheed Idowu versus Ghana's Samir Bastie as right the wrong perpetrated by the Ghana Boxing Authority by declaring the Nigerian as the winner of the vacant Universal Boxing Organization lightweight heavyweight title. The Nigerian Boxing Board of Control is indeed grateful for the timely, swift action of the title belt owners. We eagerly await the Ghana Boxing Authority to make arrangements to send the championship belt down to Nigeria for the new
That is not going to happen.
That was 4 days. That was 4 days ago. No, it has happened because 2 days ago, he is my friend. 2 days ago, he released a statement again that this is good news for all lovers of boxing, regardless of where you are from. He said, this is the update, that finally the Ghana Boxing Authority has sent the Universal Boxing Organization championship belt won by Nigeria's Rasheed Idowu. So, after receiving the belt from the courier service, the General Secretary, Mr. Oluremi Aboderin himself, took it to the President, Dr. Rafi Oladipo, and they have set the date of decoration of the boxer with his championship belt. They are yet to announce the date. So you see images of the belt with Remi Aboderin and Dr. Rafi Oladipo on your screen. That's to tell you that everybody agreed.
Saw that fight.
They saw that fight, and tell me, for the life of me, the guy that even said he was hit on the head, Rasheed was penalized by the referee for that in the first round. It was after that he was knocked down twice. So how that hit on the head became why it should be a technical draw, I will not understand. I will not understand, but all is well that ends well. Now the injustice has been righted. Now Rasheed will have his belt duly won. If Samir wants a rematch, of course, I am sure that could be arranged by the organizers and the promoters, wherever I wanted that. The first one was in his native Ghana. He lost. If he wants another one in his native Ghana or anywhere else that the boxing bout can be arranged, so be it. But like James said, and I agree with him, this boils down to the rivalry between Nigeria and Ghana in every aspect of sports. So for me, it's funny, actually. It's funny, but thank God that justice has been served.
Okay, all right. But for me, I think it is the lack of credibility. It is what it is, regardless of the rivalry. I think it's the lack of credibility, because even in subsequent sporting event, besides being between Nigeria and Ghana, what is the assurance that there's going to be credibility in whatever happens in Ghana? I think that is what I saw a lot of people online were actually questioning. Okay, now let's take a trip to Cameroon. Thank God that is already sorted. A lot has been said about Fecafoot over the past few weeks because of the controversy between the Fecafoot and the Sports Ministry over the appointment of McBride for the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon. But Samuel Eto'o, I think he's had more battles to fight than even having time to settle down to actually govern football in Cameroon. And now his lawyers are accusing the Confederation of African Football, particularly the Secretary General of CAF, of breaching some ethical rules. If you could remember, last year, football stakeholders in Cameroon, they wrote CAF alleging that Eto'o has been involved in match fixing and all that. And again, Eto'o's lawyer is saying that it is not so, and this is someone that at home, he doesn't even have much, I don't know what to say, much authority, much credibility, so to say. It's a credibility question on the show today. James, I'd like you to go first.
Tell me, the whole thing is getting so disturbing, so messy, so trashy. Like, we used to talk about clamor for ex-internationals to head federations because they play the game, blah blah blah. But now everything is I don't think we are what you expect is not what we are getting. I mean, it's becoming so disturbing now. I think for me, I think at some point you just have to step aside, because I mean, his reputation, everything is just being all over the place now. I remember the last World Cup in Qatar. He had an issue with one, I don't know whether it's a Nigerian fan, a journalist or somebody who man. Go ahead. So many things is happening concerning too. So for me, I don't think if his tenure is not going to be one that people want to remember. Because the controversies are just too much. Those at home now is having issue with scarf, and so for me, I think the best thing is for him to just resign and just leave that place, because it's not going to get any better. I mean, look at the Fecafoot. They went ahead to appoint a coach without the knowledge of the FA chairman or the FA president. With the division there is, I think what we don't have here in Nigeria, the issue we have here in Nigeria is not even up to what is happening in Cameroon. Their own is just something else. So for me, the best bet for it to that if we can just settle it all is just this, because nothing is working. And the team, the national team, they are going to suffer for it, honestly. So,
Okay.
I just hope that everything will start. But the World Cup qualifier is just around the corner. And if the people who run the football, they don't have a settled house, I mean, you're still going to transfer onto the players. We also what they did at the last half when they managed to qualify for the round of 16 before they eventually lost. So it will reflect on the national teams, and it's a sad one, honestly, especially for a top player like this going through.
Okay. Kayode, do you agree with James that Eto should step aside at this time because so much controversies, lack of credibility? Now, remember last year, like we said, it was a petition, they petitioned CAF and FIFA against him about being involved in match fixing. Even the FA, Fecafoot in Cameroon, they are divided because not all of them are actually in support of him. Now, the sports ministry in Cameroon do not even rate him at all. To have gone to the level of appointing a coach without either his knowledge or that of the Fecafoot. Do you think that at this point, it doesn't even have, according to the saying law, the local standing, that okay, I am the Fecafoot president?
I would not support the call for him to step aside yet, because these are very heavy allegations, Femi. If he's proven to have broken any laws, then he should face the music, regardless of his reputation, of his pedigree. But if you ask him to step aside now, you are imputing guilt that probably is guilty. Let investigations be done, and if he's found guilty, he should go and pay for it. That's what I think. I do not support the call for him to step aside, whatever. Of course, people will tell you that if he doesn't step aside, there will not be an investigation. I do not agree. If there's an impartial investigation, one that is not aimed at a premeditated outcome, if he's found guilty, then he shouldn't be spared. That's why I think let him be investigated thoroughly, and if he's not guilty, then the whole is actually happening. That's why.
Okay, so last week we had Nigeria's only representative on the continent, Rivers United, being eliminated from the CAF Confederation Cup. James, let's go. Of course, TP Mazembe versus Alali. This is going to be a massive clash. The first semi-final clash of the CAF Champions League. TP Mazembe, I think we talked about them when we reviewed, results last week. It seems they are back. They are back to where they used to belong, but they will have their hands full against the record holders in the CAF Champions League, Alali.
For me, this one is a big tie for them, a big obstacle, because we all know what Al-Ali, they are the Real Madrid of African club football. So the records are there, So, but Timo Mazembe, they are not a small team. They've been former champions. They've been back-to-back champions in the past. They won. I think the last time they won the Champions League was 2010 when they defeated Heartland in the final. They went all the way to the final of the Club World Cup, where they lost to Inter Milan 3-0. So they too, they are a team that has pedigree on the continent, But any team that always comes up against Al-Ali, that Al-Ali, they always come as favorites, So it's going to be a tough one, a very feisty encounter. But Al-Ali, very experienced side. There's no how you're going to bring it. That there's no antic or whatever that you're going to bring that they've not seen before. So they live for this competition, So for me, I would tilt slightly to Al-Ali. They've been doing this like forever. So TP Mazembe will push them all the way, but I think at the end of the day, Al-Ali we have too much enough to just see them off.
Okay, please, for our viewers, don't forget that this game is going to be a two-legged. Of course, the first leg will take place this weekend, then the return leg on 20th of April. Kyle, then the second semi-final, we have Esperance versus Mamelodi Sundowns. Mamelodi Sundowns they've maintained their consistency on the continent in the last few years. Not even in the CAF Confederations Cup, the CAF Champions League, the elite club competition on the continent. Do you see them nicking this one once again? They've proven to be one of the best. If you want to rate them now, to be maybe they'll be among or between the first two best teams on the continent. Do you think they can do this one on Esperance?
I think they can. I mean, whether you like it or not, they are like the leading club in Africa as we speak. Better run than most clubs. They have enormous resources at their disposal. They are the club of the current CAF president, even though it doesn't have anything to do with what we are discussing. Don't forget, their women's team have won on the continent. Their men's team has also won. They've been like undefeated in the last couple of seasons, like in the last 2-3 seasons now, that you know that they are very, very formidable. You saw how many of their players made the Bafana team to the last AFCON. That's an indication of how formidable that team is. Can they defeat Esperance? Yeah. If you look at the pedigree of Esperance, they are a very big team in Africa too. But these South Africans, I will not take it past them to overcome Esperance.
Okay, all right. Well said, James. Let's talk about the CAF Confederations Cup, Zamalek versus Dreams FC. This is typical David versus Goliath. Dream, this is their first time ever in the Eddie CAF club competition, and remember they're already in the semi-finals. Their coach Abdulkarim Zito is already saying this is going to be some challenge, but we are able. Do you see Dreams having any chance or any opportunity of even making it in this game? This weekend they go to Egypt. Then next weekend they will be hosting Zamalek.
For me, I think the first leg will give us a good idea of if they are going to scale through. You know, if they can get a good result away, I mean, it's going to help them when they come home, because they've gone beyond expectation. I never expected them to get this far. You know, and they've proven that they are a very good side, that, you know, that being here was never a fluke, and they've proven that, you know. So it's a big call. But if you want to win a title on the continent, these are the kind of games you must play. Even when Edinburgh won the Champions League, we all saw what they went through. They had to go through North Africans. They went through USM Algiers. That's in 2003. Before they met Ismail again. In 2004, they did it against Esperance in the semi-final. They did it again in Etoile. So the North Africans are always there waiting for you. You just have to go through them before you can, because like, they are the solo now of club football in Africa. You know, so good one for the Ghanaian team. Whatever happens, for me, they've done well. Whether they go through or not, they've shown that they can mix it up. You know, so if they can, who knows? Maybe they can do what Orlando Pirates did in 1995 when they won the CAF Champions League in their first appearance. Who knows? Maybe that's what this team is about to do. You know, but you know, you want to give it to Zamalek, because Zamalek are you know who they are when it comes to African club football. You know, so but. Fine, they will go as the favorites, but who says this team cannot shock them? And because they are riding high now, and anything can happen, but you still want to tilt to Zamalek as the favorite. There must be a favorite anyway.
Okay. One thing I've noticed about teams in the Sub-Sahara is that they are always not able to combine playing on the continent and playing in their domestic league. Of course, Dreams, they are not actually doing very well in the Ghanaian Premier League. Okay, the last game will be between USMLG and RS Berkane. It's an all North African affair. That is going to be very, very close, isn't it?
Very, very, like you said, I do agree with you. I think and there's a way that these North Africans try to how do I say, second guess each other. You know that their games are not as feisty as it is when they play teams, especially from the rest of Africa, because they know each other. They will cancel each other out. Their games between them are usually very, very slim outcomes, because whatever you do to me in your home, I will do once to you in the home. But I think the problem is that we, the rest of Africa, in sub-Saharan Africa, we have not learned to play the politics of the game on the continent. We have not learned to understand how important continental football is. These people take it very, very seriously. You'll be surprised that Zamalek are not doing too well in the league, but when they go to the continent, they are going to do well because they know how to play the politics involved. Al Ahly will do the same. Of course, like we said earlier, the South Africans are also coming up. In the last couple of years, you can tell how many teams outside North Africa has won this title. If you take away Mamelodi Sundowns, who are actually relatively newcomers. So for me, this game is going to be very, very tight. I'm not even going to call the game until the second leg, but I know that it's going to be very, very tight, very, very tight. Unlike the other game involving Dreams of Ghana, that, without any disrespect, is a game that you tend to understand that because of the organization of these North Africans, because of their tactical discipline, because they have a game plan and they stick to it, because they are better organized, of course, they are better funded. At the end of the day, this comes to play. And when it comes to play, you find that makes a difference between them and the rest of Africa.
Okay, of course. I wanted us to talk about the comment of the International Cycling Federation head, but of course on Monday, by God's grace, we'll be talking about what he said about the $50,000 promised to athletes who win gold at the Paris Olympics. Of course, our stand aspirant today is Mohamed Salah. Hopefully on Monday, we'll be able to talk about some of the issues surrounding Salah. And our big game of the week, Kyle and James, there is actually no time, but we're having Rivers United hosting Rangers International. And we have just, producer said we have just 2 minutes, but please, can you guys talk about it in 50 seconds? Kyle, Rivers United hosting Rangers, 17th versus first on the table. What are you looking at already?
I will not judge Rivers United by their position because they have a backlog of games to play. They have
six outstanding matches. Yeah,
6 outstanding games. So if they're able to play all those 6, we know definitely that they are going to move up the table. And like I heard, the MPFL has decided to suspend the league as from next week so that they could play their outstanding games before they continue, so that you don't put them at an advantage. If everybody had played all the games, they now have 6 to catch up. So for me, I think that's a good one. This game is going to be a cracker. Rangers have been particularly good this season, Femi. I've seen a couple of their games. I've seen the way they set up, and I think this will be a cracker. But I just think Rivers will take this. That's my thinking.
Okay, James, what is your take? 15 seconds.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough one. Rangers are going for the title, and they're going to come up against a familiar foe who have everything to prove. After crashing out from the continent. So I mean, this might be a banana peel for them. But they've been doing well. So I think at the end of the day, we might see both teams sharing the spots.
All right, to our viewers across the world, thank you so much for sharing part of your day with us on Sports Africa today. Please don't forget to subscribe. Please subscribe to our channel. Like we've said, if you think there are other things that we can do to improve the content that we put out there, please let us know in the comment section. We also want you to get involved in the conversation on the issues that we discussed on the show today. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I remain Ashalolu Afem. We'll see you on Monday, where we talk about the opinion of the International Cycling Federation head about the decision to give athletes $50,000 for gold medals at the 2024 Olympic Games. We'll be talking about it because, Africa, we know Kenyans and Ethiopians are going to win gold in athletics. That is certain. So we have to talk about it because Africans will be involved. We'll see you all next week by God's grace. Bye for now.